Welcome to The Explainer. Today we're taking a hard look at the rising price of the Irish road. So let's get straight to the data.
All right, let's kick things off with a number 4. Just 4. But that number right there, it represents the 4 massive financial hurdles, making it an absolutely fierce squeeze for the Irish working family to keep a motor on the road today. If you're driving to work every morning, you know exactly the pinch I'm talking about.
Now, when we break down the total cost of car ownership into these 4 distinct slices, fuel, insurance, motor tax, and maintenance, we see exactly where a fair whack of a person's wages vanishes just so they can commute or head into town to do the messages. You know, it's not just about paying for diesel or petrol at the pump anymore, is it? It's the NCT, the massive premium hikes, the constant wear and tear from the country roads. It has quietly but steadily become a massive, undeniable chunk of a family's regular household outgoings.
Section 1. More than just inflation, the real drivers.
You see, it's far too easy for us to just throw our hands up and blame the general cost of living, like the price of a pint or the weekly shop, for absolutely everything getting dearer. But the reality? This squeeze on Irish drivers is driven heavily by specific policy and structural decisions. The very foundation of how we pay for transport is actively changing right beneath our wheels.
The carbon tax factor, emissions policies. Tracing this objectively through the data, the path is crystal clear. Look, in the past, we just had your standard base costs for keeping a car running. But today, right now, we are seeing the heavy impact of escalating emissions policies and carbon taxes. And looking toward the future? Well, with planned tax increases already mapped out for the years ahead, the cost of the Irish road is not just high at the minute, it is structurally engineered to get worse. Transport is actively becoming an even greater, completely fixed household expense for anyone who literally has no choice but to drive.
Section 2. The commuter's divide. Policy versus reality.
So here's the really crucial point. We have to look at the stark divide between overarching national emissions goals and the daily reality on the ground. On one side, you have these structural shifts designed by policymakers. But on the other, you have rural dwellers and commuters. We're talking about working families who don't exactly have a Lewis or a Dart sitting on their doorstep, right? They are completely reliant on their cars for their livelihoods. There is a massive gap between these high-level policy goals and the reality of a family down in the West or the Midlands just trying to get to work and drop the kids to the GAA pitch, with absolutely no alternative transport options available to them to avoid these rising costs.
So, as we wrap up this explainer, I really want to leave you with a provocative question to ponder. Is this just inflation, or are we actually looking at a permanent structural shift in who can afford the Irish road? It's definitely something to think about the next time you're reviewing your own monthly outgoings or standing there filling up the tank. Thanks a million for joining me today, and make sure to keep a sharp eye on those structural shifts.